Lender, and this is my channel. Starting off with hopefully several more live events. So I'm here in Oklahoma. This is my home base right now. Me and my wife, we live in the city, Dedham City, and I'm not going to talk much about that. In the midst of the city, I'm going to talk about something dear to hopefully everyone's hearts. That's addiction, prisoners, and being set free, bringing hope to prisoners. So earlier today, I did some photography for a nonprofit, some video stand-ups they had a mission called Freedom Challenge, which is one of those volunteer positions that you go, and they have staff members too, but you get to minister to the inmates and spread some hope of a love of Christ. And they what Freedom Challenge does is they have a curriculum. It's called Lift curriculum that they invite prisoners into. It's volunteer again, but they invite prisoners into to better their life to people that may not have hope. You know, it could be for several years, several decades, or to life that they have been sentenced in the prison. So the prison that I went today was called Mabel Bassett. It's there in McLeod, Oklahoma. In Oklahoma City, it's about 45 minutes away, and it's a women's prison, state run. It's way out on the country, kind of in between, and McLeod is here, and then Hera is here when you go eastward. And it's a couple minutes from the Interstate 44. But I got to listen to and capture some women that were pretty much at brink's end of giving up hope, and listen to their transformation story. Now, often what this looks like is they have a curriculum. It's normally about a year, but because it's a prison, prisoners, sometimes it's a mix between they post bail and they're out to their sentence is up and they're out in the real world. So it's pretty much up to them how much they want to participate in and what they want to get out of it. And in a hard location like that, in prison, you kind of have one side just to make it and just say, okay, I'm here, I'm going to do the best I can, and I may not agree with my sentence, but okay. Or, yeah, I screwed up and there's a better way, and these people are really genuinely looking out for my soul, looking out for my spiritual well-being. So that's what Freedom Challenge with the Lift curriculum is all about. So that's happening not only Mabel Bassett and McLeod, but that's happening in a prison in Lawton, the other direction heading west, about 2 hours away from this women's prison. So Lawton Correctional Facility is the one down in Lawton, Oklahoma. And it's in Madison Park, which is a beautiful area. You keep driving down west, the interstate, and all of a sudden you go up on a hill, and then there's this peak of mountains that you see, Lawton, Oklahoma. It's the Wichita Mountains. And the Wichita Mountains is several mountains, peaks. One side of it is a army base where they practice and they have training drills and artillery fire, and the other side it's a park. It's like a natural nature reserve, and you can actually go down there. Madison Park is actually a village down by the river. River flows through. It's quite beautiful to get away. It's got some historical landmarks. So with that being said, if you're ever in the area of Lawton, just know that it's not just plain and flat like some songs do say, like Oklahoma winds going down the plains. There is actually some historical value to seeing the Wichita Mountains. And there's several gems if you want to explore further. There's bison, there's an aquarium, there's village people, just nice, kind-hearted country people that will lift your spirits if you're passing by. So going away from the mountain picture countryside, there's close to well over 100 men being in Lawton Correctional Facility. It's a men's prison. So with that being said, there's nearly 100 men that have gone through over the last several years this discipleship program called Freedom Challenge. They go in, and there's baptisms that happen in Freedom Challenge. There are salvations that happen, and that's one of the largest ministries that prisons of this scale have seen. People come in and they actually stay. These chaplains come in with a gift of hope and a gift of restoration. So little do you understand the importance of ministries like this. Churches often have prison ministry, of course, which is actually their separate volunteer group of people that go out and minister to people in the juvie or an adult center, or mix and match. And that's what prison ministry is all about. Normally they bring backpacks or shoes or notepads or whatever the prisons allow them to do, but they just go in and start ministering. So in Mabel Bassett, the name of the prison there's two distinct directors that head up Freedom Challenge. They're the sweetest kind of women that you would find heading up this ministry. And they were telling me about some stories about how they just had baptisms a couple days ago, and the importance of how it's not just a boost for their morale. But one lady that we interviewed, her time is up in about a year, and so she's going to go to another ministry and help out another nonprofit that is that's doing the same thing, just on a much lower level. People that are in trouble, she goes, and she's planning to go on there as intern, eventually on staff, and use her testimony, use her story to bring the light of Jesus. So speaking about McLeod, that's my second half of the story. There's, if you've been anywhere in Oklahoma for any period of time, there's these chain restaurants called Boomarang Diner. Boomarang Diner has been started up, and it's been going on for several years, but it's a mock chain of restaurants dealing with the 1950s. You step in, and all of a sudden there's a big Elvis statue there. There's pictures of cars. There's retro 1950s mercantile all over. Decorations to just your typical diner that you would feel way back then. It's quite an experience. Just know that's not Oklahoma at all. That's just an experience going there, and they even have car shows, I think, annually. Their parking lots. So a couple years ago, I actually met up with the owner of the Boomarang Diner, and he was starting out as a business owner, and he began to incorporate Boomarang Diners on all across Oklahoma, one of them being McLeod, and he reaches out to the community as a mission, his restaurant. So he was just telling me one story after the other. His name is Wayne. Wayne told me one story after another of people coming in not able to pay for the food, and he just blesses them. And he's like, yeah, month to month, we're not really sure how we make the bills in our restaurant costs and expenses, but random people, acts of kindness, always provide, always writes not blank checks, but always writes us checks. Always, there's something in the midst that tickle God's heart when you volunteer your heart and do as a community outreach. So Boomarang Diner is not just with the 1950s and such. It's especially one in McLeod and all over the place. It's a community's unique restaurant that brings hope to the community in need. And they're one of one of the most sweet, kind-hearted staff at restaurants there. They'll give you a big smile and hand you a greasy menu and ask you about your day. And it's a really cool place to hang out. So this is Peter Freelander. A little bit about me, if you've been following my YouTube channel, I'm a film producer, primarily in just short documentaries, animator, website designer. Check me out at peterfreelander.tv. And hopefully if as I start producing some of these live videos, I'll start growing the audience. And when I travel around the state in different tri-state areas, I'll be able to do these lives and fill in a little bit what's happening here in Central America. So Oklahoma is sandwiched between Kansas, the Wizard of Oz, Kansas, not in a dream, but the Kansas and Texas way down the south, and we're just kind of scrunched in between. Matter of fact, in Tulsa, Oklahoma, we have a very center place that's called the center of the universe. You may have heard of it. If you stand in the center, there's a strange echo inside, totally outside, totally define the laws of gravity, physics, on just totally out in the open. It's in the middle of the center, but it's nothing around for 40 feet. You just stand in the center, you can't hear anything else. So that's my live for today, and I hope you have a good one. God bless.